Hey everyone, Hydra Head here, and this is Project Superpowers. This is by Dynamite. I talked about number 0, the basically the introduction issue. I enjoyed it, which was the main reason why I got number 1. This came out last week, $3.99, rated T for teen. It's by Rob Williams and Sergio Davila. So, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I'll talk about it, but before I get into that, I'm going to show you guys what's coming up from Dynamite. There's going to be a Mars Attacks comic. It's going to be by Eisner nominees Kyle Starks and Chris Schweizer. The fact that they're nominees and not winners, I think actually speaks higher for them than if they were winners. Because you got people like Gabby Rivers as your Eisner winner candidates. So, at first, so number 0 I was a big fan of, but in number 1, I at first thought it was going to turn into like a deconstruction of what it means to be a superhero, and I wasn't really looking forward to that. I think that's a boring idea for a comic book, especially a caped comic book. More like something you'd read on Vox or some shit. But it's not quite what was going on. Really, they were just giving us some backstory on the characters for the most part. So, this is a pretty fantastic start. Dynamite usually leaves us with something like this. She's from the past, from the 50s, basically internal monologuing about the big change in society. She's from the 50s, but she's dressed like a fucking 2018 thought with no issue. Doesn't at all bother her to show that much skin, even though she's from the 50s. This guy grabs her ass, which she makes some internal comment about how some things never change. She then makes the dude piss himself, which is, I guess, kind of funny. I don't know. Whatever. The art is pretty fair, I guess. I don't know why artists are so big about giving women black lipstick, though. And it's just unattractive. If you're doing like a goth girl, then that's cool, but otherwise, stop. So then she goes on the Oprah show. It's not actually Oprah. I don't remember what they call her. It's something else, though. But as you can tell, it's very clearly Oprah. And she's basically talking to this lady about how she used to be a superhero, and then why isn't she a superhero now? And she's like, well, back then things were simple, now stuff is complicated. And they're very, very much alluding towards the modern, current day political times, and saying that it's just too complicated to be a hero. Everything's not so black and white anymore. Which is a very bullshit, ignorant way to talk about the past. If I have to explain that to you, then you should probably just educate yourself on history. But, and I honestly, I thought this was going to set the pace for the entire comic, and I was just set to absolutely hate it. But we start changing pace as we meet Imani, who's going to be our new superhero, I'm sure. So from right here, I'm not really going to dive too much farther into the actual storyline, because I don't want to ruin anything. If you liked issue 1, then definitely pick up, or I'm sorry, if you liked issue 0, definitely pick up issue 1. It is a good read. I had somebody comment on my first video for issue 0 that they were a big fan of number 1. I enjoyed reading it. The little bit at the start really doesn't set the pace for the entire comic like I thought it would. And we pretty much get into non-stop action after that, which is fairly cool. Samson is kind of funny, and like that tough, old, doddering fool kind of way that is a fairly common cliche nowadays in stories, but it's still enjoyable, and I like that. Honestly, the majority of the heroes are pretty cool for the most part. And we get some big surprises throughout it, so I would say I definitely recommend this one. It's not the best superhero book I've ever read, but considering what's out there and available right now, it's pretty solid. I'd say it's worth $4. If you're the kind of person that likes to wait for trades, though, I don't think you're really missing out on anything by waiting on the trade. Although the single floppies so far are reading pretty well on their own, which is nice. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hail Hydra, baby. You all have a good day.